here later in the show. But tonight, we're going to start off the night with this right here. Okay. So to say New York Liberty sent the Blitz. Sandy, Sap, and Stewie are all talking to Caitlin Clark in the tunnel. So my guess is this right here happened at the conclusion of the game. This, my friends,
a photograph featuring Caitlin Clark alongside members of the New York Liberty has become the center of widespread online discussion and speculation. The image shows Clark in conversation with Sandy Brondello and other Liberty players, including what appears to be Breanna Stewart and Sabrina Ionesu, following a recent game. The timing and context of this interaction have sparked considerable debate across social media platforms. Many observers are interpreting the photograph as potentially significant, suggesting it could indicate Clark's interest in exploring options beyond her current situation with the Indiana Fever. The image has generated substantial engagement online, with numerous fans and analysts weighing in on its possible implications.
Of the game. This, my friends, is currently going viral all over social media right now. That is Caitlin Clark immediately after the game. Now, what's crazy is that her team lost the damn game, but Caitlin is all smiles. She's all smiles. She's all smiles. So many people is this.
What makes this particular moment noteworthy is Clark's demeanor in the aftermath of her team's loss. Despite the disappointing game result, she appeared notably upbeat and engaged during this conversation with the Liberty representatives. This contrast has not gone unnoticed by those following the story closely. The photograph specifically captures what appears to be an intimate discussion in the tunnel area, likely occurring immediately after the game concluded. Sandy Brondello is seen with her hand positioned on Clark's shoulder, creating what many are describing as a particularly telling visual moment that has amplified speculation about potential future developments.
So many people is insinuating. They're insinuating that Caitlin Clark can be trying to get the hell out of Indy. Now, I ain't going to hold you. Your boy John Liquidator I definitely want her to get out of Indy, bro. And it's this photo right here that is really heating up. I mean, this one right here is really breaking the bank, bro. This look.
Discussion around Clark's current contractual situation has intensified following the emergence of this image. Research into WNBA rookie contract structures reveals that these agreements typically span 3 years, with teams holding options for a 4th year. The initial 2 years are guaranteed, while teams maintain decision-making power regarding the 3rd and 4th year options. Under this framework, Clark is currently operating under a rookie wage scale contract where compensation is determined by draft position. Higher draft selections receive correspondingly higher salaries, though these amounts remain relatively modest compared to endorsement opportunities available to high-profile players.
Breaking the bank, bro. This look, Sandy Brondello got her hand all on Caitlin, bro. Hey. This is looking real spooky. Oh, smash that like button, man. Smash that like button. A lot of people could be insinuating. Somebody said, was it just Jordan? The 1980s was full contact like hockey. Bro, that's how this league is. It's full contact like hockey. She needs to leave the WNBA. A lot of people have been.
The collective bargaining agreement between the WNBA and its players' union governs these rookie wage structures. As Clark approaches what would be her 3rd year, questions arise about potential flexibility in her contractual obligations and whether any mechanisms exist for player movement. Some observers have noted that Clark's substantial endorsement deals with major brands like Nike could potentially provide financial resources that might influence contract decisions, though the specific mechanics of how this could work remain unclear. The broader context surrounding this speculation includes ongoing discussions about the physical nature of play Clark has encountered throughout the season. Multiple incidents have drawn attention to what some characterize as overly aggressive treatment directed toward the rookie sensation.
It's full contact like hockey. She needs to leave the WNBA. A lot of people have been saying that she needs to get out of the country entirely. I hope CC get the hell out of Indy. Now, I don't know how this could all play out with her potentially, allegedly trying to get the hell out of Indy. But my boy on X, man, I believe Andy said something here. If I could find it, I don't know if I shared it or whatnot. But he had said something moments ago about Caitlyn potentially getting.
Comparisons have been drawn to historical precedents, including the physical play that characterized professional basketball in earlier decades. However, critics argue that such comparisons may not be entirely appropriate given the different context and time periods involved. The conversation has evolved to include more serious allegations about the treatment Clark has received on the court. Some commentators have suggested that the pattern of physical play directed toward her crosses boundaries and could potentially warrant investigation by authorities. These concerns have led to discussions about whether current incidents might constitute violations of federal legislation designed to protect individuals from targeted violence. The suggestion that law enforcement agencies might need to examine the situation represents an escalation in the rhetoric surrounding Clark's treatment.
About Caitlyn potentially getting out of Indy, bro. I would love to see her out of Indy. I would love, bro. I said it. New York is the perfect fit for it. New York is the best landing spot for Caitlyn right now. Let me see here. I think he might have said it under this other post. Yeah, New York is the perfect fit for Caitlyn. I believe he might have set it up under this. Somebody said, okay, it wasn't Andy. So
the speculation surrounding this photograph reflects the intense scrutiny that follows Clark's every move, both on and off the court. Her status as one of the most recognizable figures in women's basketball ensures that even casual interactions generate significant analysis and interpretation from fans and media observers. As the discussion continues to evolve, the original photograph remains a catalyst for broader conversations about player empowerment, contract flexibility, and the future direction of the WNBA. Whether these speculations will translate into any concrete developments remains to be seen, but the level of engagement demonstrates the significant interest in Clark's career trajectory.
Somebody said, okay, it wasn't Andy. So this comment right here, right? This comment said this is likely about the 2026 CBA and not Caitlyn Clark getting traded. Oh, my bad. Traded to the New York Liberty. What would the Liberty even trade her for? I guess they have a lot of European talent stashed overseas, but sadly, Caitlyn Clark won't be freed. I don't know how true that is, guys. But I would love to see Caitlyn Clark getting the hell out of Indy, bro.
The incident highlights how quickly images and moments can take on heightened significance in today's social media environment, particularly when they involve high-profile athletes. The interpretation and reinterpretation of such moments often extend far beyond their original context, creating narratives that may or may not reflect actual intentions or future plans. Recent developments have emerged regarding WNBA collective bargaining agreement discussions, with significant news breaking about Caitlyn Clark's involvement in upcoming negotiations. According to Chloe Peterson's announcement on social media, Clark will participate in the CBA meetings between the players' union and league officials scheduled for Thursday in Indianapolis.
Getting the hell out of Indy, bro. Somebody said with all the money from Nike and etc., she possibly could buy out her contract. I don't know. I haven't really looked that deep into this, but this photo right here, man, is just, I don't know, bro. I don't know, dog. This is looking very possible. If you leave, she needs to find a way to take Sophie and Lexi with her.
Peterson revealed this information during pregame coverage, stating that despite being only in her second year professionally, this represents a crucial period for the league's continued expansion and development. The decision to include Clark in these discussions appears strategic given her remarkable impact on viewership numbers. Clark's games consistently attract extraordinary television audiences, regularly drawing over 1 million viewers and sometimes reaching 2.1 million for individual contests. These viewing figures significantly exceed typical WNBA broadcasts, making her presence at negotiations potentially influential for the players' bargaining position.
All right, I'm glad that y'all are understanding who should be at that table, okay? We know Caitlyn Clark numbers are astronomical. Her games are the ones that really are hitting the 2 million, the 1 million, the millions, okay? Even her last game, I think it did like 2.1 million, okay? So it is only right to have Caitlin Clark at that table. She's going to be the one to be able to tell them like, hey, look, I'm making these numbers. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. We doing this together. And mind you,
her involvement could prove beneficial since she previously attempted to secure additional compensation for visiting teams when her appearances resulted in sold-out arenas for opposing franchises. This gesture demonstrated her awareness of how her popularity affects the entire league's financial landscape. The viewership data strongly supports Clark's leverage in these discussions. Games featuring other teams, including those broadcast on major networks like ABC or CBS, fail to generate comparable audience numbers. Recent Las Vegas Aces broadcasts without Clark's participation drew substantially smaller audiences, highlighting the disparity in public interest.
I'm doing that. We doing this together. And mind you, she was trying to actually find a way to get the away team some money when she was showing up in these arenas and selling them out for the opposing teams. So I think it's only right to have her there, man. I think she's going to be a huge part into getting what y'all want. Now, we all understand that that's what they're leaning on, the numbers, right? The numbers. And I think Caitlin Clark can threaten some things. I'm not going to hold you. Now, I don't feel like it's going to open their
This attendance in negotiations could allow Clark to advocate effectively for improved player compensation by emphasizing her role in generating revenue. Her ability to influence league decisions through her market value might pressure ownership into more favorable terms for the collective bargaining agreement. The timing of this invitation suggests players recognize Clark's importance after initially underestimating her impact. Rather than focusing solely on current roster dynamics, this decision appears forward-thinking considering future league development and upcoming talent entering professional basketball. Public reaction to this development has been mixed. Some observers question whether Clark should assist colleagues who have shown hostility toward her throughout the season. Critics argue she deserves significant compensation, particularly regarding merchandise sales, before helping others secure better contracts.
Want to open their eyes more so of, hey, it's more stable with everybody. They're still going to see that a lot of it is Caitlin Clark. All right, they're going to see a lot of it is Caitlin Clark. As far as who people want to see, even with the viewership when it comes to these other games that's on ABC or CBS or whatever the case may be. I think the Aces had a game on there without Caitlin Clark. I didn't get to see the viewership numbers, but I know it's nowhere near what Caitlin is doing. So, yeah, there's
However, supporters view this as evidence of Clark's maturity and long-term vision. They believe she's prioritizing the league's overall health and future prospects rather than dwelling on past conflicts with certain players. This perspective suggests she's considering upcoming generations of athletes who would benefit from improved working conditions. Others note the irony of players seeking assistance from someone they previously criticized. The rapid shift from antagonism to requesting help demonstrates how quickly professional sports politics can change when financial interests are involved.
Caitlin is doing. So, yeah, they're still going to be able to have that against them. I just think that if Caitlin kind of, throw her weight around maybe a little for them, something will give. I'm just saying, I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but only a plus can be added to what y'all are arguing if you have Caitlin Clark at that table. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, get Caitlin Clark at the table, man. Get her at the table. I'm glad they finally realized that they need Caitlin Clark there.
Some commentators express concern about Clark's position in these negotiations, wondering whether she'll be expected to support union positions or league management priorities. This situation could create complications given existing tensions between Clark and various stakeholders within the organization. The lack of promotion for upcoming All-Star Weekend activities has also drawn criticism, with observers noting insufficient marketing efforts despite the event's proximity. This promotional deficiency reinforces arguments about league management's shortcomings in maximizing revenue opportunities.
Table, man. Get her at the table. I'm glad they finally realized that they need Caitlin Clark there because that's going to help them in a major way. All right? That's going to help them in a major way. So can't wait to see what the final results are about that one, man. Caitlin Clark at the table. Let's see what some people are saying. Am I wrong to want this? Kathy Engelbert helped the WNBA grow, but now she's holding it back. Time to pass the ball. So the players are bringing in the hand that they bite. The same hand that feeds them. Oh man, horrible decision on the part of Caitlin Clark unless she is
Questions remain about what specific role Clark will play during negotiations and whether her presence will significantly influence outcomes. While her attendance provides additional leverage for players' demands, it's uncertain how much ownership will be willing to concede despite her obvious value to the league.
decision on the part of Caitlin Clark unless she is negotiating herself 40% of jersey sales. She deserves that and more. Why should she help women in the WNBA get more money when they hate her guts and try to injure her? She should let them suffer for their crimes. Look, I think there are bad apples wherever we look, all right? Families, leagues, there's bad apples everywhere. But I don't feel like everybody deserves to suffer because of a few bad apples. She's looking towards the future. She's looking at the younger girls. She's looking at
The strategic nature of this invitation suggests players finally acknowledge Clark's essential role in the WNBA's financial success. Her ability to generate unprecedented viewership numbers makes her participation in CBA discussions logical from both marketing and negotiating perspectives.
She's looking towards the future. She's looking at the younger girls. She's looking at the younger players who are coming up in the world. So I think that's what she's thinking about more so than the players that are in the league right now. She's looking towards the future. So I don't mind what she's doing. It takes somebody big to actually ignore the small apples that might be in the bunch and think about everybody else who do deserve to actually see a better future. Smart. Well, after the slap in the face, these ladies understand reality hits hard.
This development represents a significant shift in how the league's most prominent player is being utilized in business discussions. Rather than excluding her from important decisions, stakeholders now recognize her influence as crucial for achieving desired outcomes in contract negotiations. The upcoming meetings will likely test Clark's ability to balance her individual interests with collective player needs, while navigating complex relationships within the league. Her participation could establish precedents for how star players engage in future labor discussions.
That didn't take long. Straight to the mattresses and bringing out the billion-dollar sales generating nuclear weapon option. Well played, ladies. Those Brink trucks will be backing up shortly. Yeah, I think she could throw some weight around, man. She could throw some weight around. I'm not saying they're still going to fold and give them everything that they want, but I think Caitlin can say a few things to kind of frighten them. I'm just saying. End of the day, it's about the league in terms of decades, not current few years.
Whether this collaboration will result in meaningful improvements to player compensation and working conditions remains to be seen. However, Clark's involvement certainly strengthens the union's negotiating position by adding the league's most marketable asset to their discussions with ownership representatives.